Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Patrick, for giving me the opportunity again to present EUNCL and how to access EUNCL. As earlier presented by Patrick, it's a very easy process, and I'll show you how and what are the results so far in the EUNCL selection process. So first of all, as introduced by Patrick, there is one entry point. I am this entry point, so usually most, not to say all our sponsors access entry point is me, and all the applicants are in contact with me and directly with our experts via, let's say, different exchanges, email, phone conferences, and things like this, whether it's during the application process or during the campaign process or any other exchanges you would like to have with the experts. So there is really an easy way to interact with EUNCL. I'm the contact person, but of course I'm trying to be as transparent as possible so that you have access to all the expertise and the experts in EUNCL. So let's go directly to what is EUNCL. It was early presented and introduced by Patrick. So we are proposing a really wide range of expertise and assays to characterize the physical, the chemical, the in vitro and in vivo characteristics and critical quality attributes of your nanomedicines or nanocompounds. We are organizing this service in a, let's say, tier approach, prioritizing the assays which are the most relevant for your nanocompounds. So we have a very, very dedicated and on a case-by-case basis research plan design so that we will take into account all the specificities of your compound, whether it is the route of administration, the composition, the material you're using, polymers, lipids, or things like this, and adapt the research plan according to our capacities and our expertise and your nanoparticle specifically. There is one big issue usually in this application, and we have identified that as a gate of entry to EUNCL services. It's the contamination. So endotoxin and bacterial contamination is a key issue, let's say, you have to handle, and we can help you to handle for going through the process of characterization. So this is really the main points of care we have when we receive the candidates and when we receive the material. So let's say being at the quality level required to put services for our clients has been not a long way, but a really, let's say, a hard way. We have organized ourselves, hopefully and thankfully, to our US cousins based on the development and the transfer of SOPs, adaptation of these SOPs, these US SOPs to EU, and as well as on running several qualification and validation campaigns. And finally, we met the, let's say, quality requirements in order to provide services at really high quality standards in EUNCL to mimic or to mirror what is EUNCL able to provide. So we're really working in let's say, the best quality controls, non-GLP level. So going to the concrete things I have the objective to present is the application process. So the application process is a two-step application with a light application first. It's a template to fill in 10 pages. There are 4, let's say, critical criteria, whether you have in vivo data of efficacy, whether you have your material available in 2 different batches. And so it's really limited work. And this is only possible if you have an NDA executed, of course, in order for us to be free to exchange information. This step 1 application is reviewed internally by the expert of EUNCL as well as external experts. As soon as this has been reviewed and accepted, we move to the step 2. This step 2 application is a bit more deep into detail on usually the productions, on the scale-up, on exactly the results you have had, what are the techniques you have used to get those data, and we're challenging you in order to really better understand your product, to better understand your strategy, and to better check if you're, let's say, if you understand your product in the nanomedicine environment. Of course, it's challenging, and we're challenging you, but we are here to support you. So this application, whether it's step 1 or step 2, we are here to support, and I'm the contact person so that I can help you in, let's say, set up your application, check what are the challenges you will face in the selection process so that we can help you to put the right data in your application. So we're here to support and to really ease the process of selection. So after the step 2 application, we have the step 2 usually is an interview where we are discussing a lot. And after that, if everything goes well, we're going for a characterization where we have some details to manage, like the material need, the research plan, and MTA, of course, because this is critical in the case of material exchange, but that's the usual basis. It's okay. So globally, the total application process takes let's say 2 to 3 months, maybe 4, depending on the time we have to negotiate the MTA, which is usually the most difficult administrative and legal burden in this process. So who can apply? Almost everybody, let's say, academics, industries, or whatever the size of the industry, or even inventors on their own. So the biggest acceptance criteria are demonstrate efficacy, of course, in a biological system, in vivo preferably, the ability to produce 2 different batches, to provide a detailed production plan, meaning scaling up, and to propose a clear strategy to go to the clinics, because sometimes we have, let's say, application where you think science first, but the aim of those products is to go to the clinics. So we really have to think with you or in advance how you will be able to go to clinics with those kind of product. And sometimes we are facing really nice surprises. So here are the, let's say, quite the simple facts that makes a good application. Of course, the quality of the material and the quantity. We're asking for, let's say, large amounts, because we need a single batch to run a full cascade, which represents numbers of assays, and some are consuming quite large amounts of your material. So this are good examples for the Doxil campaign, which was the qualification. We used 30 milliliters, for example. So just to give you an overview of where we are in this selection process, after 3 TNA campaigns, application campaigns, we have had 30 applications so far. 18 of them have been to step 2, and 3 entered characterization yet. We have 6 more to enter characterization. So we have more and more application from the SMEs. And initially, 90% of our application were cancer, and now it represents only 75%. We have other diseases. We're open to all diseases. We're open to all kind of nanomaterials, whether they are organic or inorganic. So here are the numbers distributed among the different TNAs. So we started the first TNA in 2016. We had 10 applications. 7 went to step 2. 4 have been accepted for characterization. In the second one, we had 11 applications, and 7 went to characterization. And in the third one, we so far have had 8 applications. 2 went to step 2, 4 are still under review, and I just collected 1 this week. So globally, here is the origin of these applications. So as you can see, we have a broad variety of countries, with some of them being, let's say, leaders in terms of application: Spain, Italy, Switzerland, and we have, after that, UK and France, and we have smaller ones from the Netherlands, Germany, and other countries. But we have really a strong part of Spanish application. Don't ask me why. Here's the global representation of the applications profile. As you can see, SMEs are the biggest applicants, the biggest numbers of applicants. We still have a large number of research institutes and only 1 large company so far. The targeted disease I've just mentioned is mainly cancer, but we have Alzheimer's, we have infectious diseases, we have non-specific diseases, for example, for diagnostics. Some of diagnostic platform are not yet the disease oriented, and we have many other diseases covered, which is very interesting for us. We have both medical devices and chemicals, legal regulatory route profile in our applicants. And here is the, let's say, the type of nanomaterials we are mainly having in the applications. We have mainly polymers, metallic nanoparticle liposomes, some silicate nanoparticles, which are mainly all concentrated in the 3rd year of application. Don't ask me why, it's this year. We received most of them. And we have other, let's say, exotic or sources of, or type of material. Next one. So what have we learned among those 3 campaigns? First, the role of EUNCL has strongly evolved. We were built as a service company, but finally we are, let's say, more and more working in the counseling activity. So that is why I'm just really pushing you to apply. The success rates of the application is really high. Nevertheless, we're really helping you to build up your application, whether it's step 1 or step 2. We are here to, let's say, support you in being successful in EUNCL. Our role is really to reach our goal of 30 applications. We reached it so far, but we are still open for additional applications. We're moving forward to prolong EUNCL in a way or another, and we're not sure about it, but we're really strongly convinced that we will be able to prolong this. So counseling is our, let's say, big role, as well as services for characterization. Maturity of sponsors has been something, and the compounds have been something challenging. So we have had very early stage applications for which we have had to play this counseling role. And since we learned from the US and we figured out on the real life that each case is unique, we had really to face every single application as a unique case, whether the material is different, the sponsor, maturity, the disease targeted, or the route of administration. Every single case is unique. So just to end, because time is over, we are open to every diseases. We are open to every kind of, let's say, medicine, whether it is diagnosis, treatment, or vaccine, or imaging. We're really open to all kind of things and all kind of nanomedicine, nanoparticle. And with that, I would like to thank you and looking forward for your application. Thank you.